So let's talk about League One to kind of give you an idea on how this preview is going to be structured because we have 17 teams now. Rest in peace, Tormenta. We don't want to have a 2 hour to 2.5 hour long show. So we're dedicating roughly around 5.5 minutes to each team, a little more, a little less, give and take. So that's going to be kind of how we structure this so it doesn't get too long for the people who want to watch the full thing. So with that, let's go ahead and talk about our predicted table. For the USL show rankings, we had Omaha first, AC Boise second. We got Spokane Velocity third, Portland Hearts of Pine in fourth, Chattanooga Red Wolves come in fifth, Fort Wayne FC joins us in sixth, Greenville Triumph in seventh, and the defending champions, One Knox, are in the final playoff spot in eighth. The first to miss out are Alex's Richmond. We got Sarasota Paradise. Then we got Charlotte Independence, New York Cosmos, the Ford Madison, Corpus Christi, FC Naples, AV Alta, and with the wooden spoon is going to be Westchester SC. What do the fans think? Well, the fans and us are very different. With Portland in first, no bias at all. We have Omaha second, Spokane also in third. One Knox, the defending champions. The fans have them in fourth. Boise come up in fifth. Chattanooga in sixth. FC Naples in seventh. AV Alta in eighth in our final playoff spot. First team missing the playoffs is going to be Charlotte, then Fort Wayne, then Greenville, then Madison, then Richmond, then Sarasota, then Cosmos, then Corpus Christi, and in last with the wooden spoon is going to be Westchester. So with all that said, let's go ahead and get into the preview. Our first team out, maybe they need to be added in after Luca Dorado gets announced today, purely like an hour before we went live. But the storyline we talked about before that news is, can Tyler Freeman rediscover his Loudon self? And is that enough to get this team over the line? But now we have Luca Dorado, so everything's thrown out the window.
Yeah, that was a bombshell announcement, not expected at all. Luca Dorado to Richmond Kickers. Earlier this week, we had heard that they were going to bring in a forward or a winger or something, and we were like leaning towards it was going to be a winger. And then out of nowhere today, they're just like, oh yeah, we got Luca Dorado, the one of the top free agent strikers in the league, who had signed with Tormenta on December 22nd, and obviously became a free agent last weekend. He's the first Tormenta player to have a public announcement of a new home. You knew he wasn't going to stay off the market long, but was Richmond going to actually like make a splash like this? That was what was very unexpected, because Richmond's just not a team that makes those kind of splashes. Richmond seems to have this, like, they look outside the league. They look outside think outside the box, looking for players where no one else is looking, basically. So to get like the top free agent was just kind of like mind blowing to the Kickers fans today. But yeah, I mean, this is now all of a sudden there is an offense here that has at least 1, 2, 3, 4 players who are capable of scoring 8 goals apiece. And then that's just
last year was never goals. We never questioned if they could score last year.
Well, I mean, score more goals then. We'll get to the defense in a minute, but and then you have Landon Johnson, who is poised, I think, to break out this year on the wing. You have Tariq Panholzer, who is not. I don't think he's going to be joining the team for a few weeks, because he's also another one of the international players stuck in visa limbo, like a lot of teams are dealing with. But let's move to the back. Daniel Moore and Muji Marana are 2 players that were very highly touted by Coach Darren Sawatsky. He compared them to when Richmond had Stu Ritchie and Stephen Payne on the backs.
Wow.
And he said, like, that's not to like put anything against what Richmond has had in the meantime, because in the meantime, since they left, there's been Michael Hornsby, Maxie Shenfield, Simon Fitch. I mean, these are all very solid league players. But he said that he feels that Moore and Marana are going to bring that like that elevated athleticism that Richie and Payne had back in 2022. And then you put the center backs, Sean Vinberg, Sam Layton, Ethan Koss, and then there's going to be a trialist is going to be announced later this week to come in for the other center back position. I think there's a little bit of a wait and see there. They're taller, they're more physical, they're more chippy than players that Richmond has had in the last couple of years at center back. So that could be an advantage, but it's a little bit of a question mark. Wait and see, and what happens in real time. But yeah, Luca Dorado, I think, was kind of a game changer today for Richmond.
If you watched our 90s, 50s, 10s, I had Richmond as my 50% to make the playoffs, and I even think I got bullish enough to say that they would host a playoff game. I will say I'm also in that prime era where I think every team is going to win the championship. Like I am in that point right now that every team's going to win it all. Like that's just where I am.
It's a very equal league this year.
But I love what I'm seeing with this team. Like I'm looking at Moore, I'm looking at Layton. Ethan Coase, I think, is a player that deserved more playing time in Birmingham. I liked what I saw out of him. So if he starts, that's great. But you also get Sean Vinberg, we talked about Portland upgrading their center back department and that being a big deal. But Sean Vinberg was also a very good center back for Portland. It's not like he was just some guy up there. He was a very good player. Marana up there as well. Then you look at the midfield, and this is obviously your club, but something that you talked about was Tyler Freeman. And we, including me, hand up, kind of wrote him off and being like, man, that Loudon time was really fun. But you talked to Swirsky and you mentioned yourself, he's 23 years old.
Yeah. So he had if you look at the last few years, what he's been doing, he's been bouncing around on loans, and Swatsky said that he just kind of like ran into like systems and coaching like situations where he just wasn't really a good fit. And I think that under Swatsky and especially under Ownby, I think this is like where he can refine that confidence and that form with stability.
Do you think that we're going to be able to see this team rounded out and just be more consistent front to back? Because last year it was like Richmond has gotten into another 3-4 match and they were unfortunately to 3 today. Or they would just go dry for a few weeks of scoring, but still kind of be a little leaky. Do you think they have taken a step forward, totality wise?
It's hard. It's hard to tell. Like I said, I think with defensively, it's a little bit of a wait and see. And wait and see in action. Preseason, it's hard to gauge. The one preseason match we saw was a 2-1 loss to VCU.
Good team.
Yeah, which is one of the top NCAA program. But yeah, I think we're gonna have to like wait and see what that pairing is gonna be, how they work together. Yeah, the center back pairing is a bit of a question mark right now for me.
All right. Final thoughts?
Jan Filion, goalkeeper. He is very chirpy, very he reminded me of kind of like a Mall Knight, where he loves to yell, to motivate his team, to yell at the other, the opposition, yell at the refs. Like
Lots of yelling.
He's got that dog in him. Now I don't know who's going to be, who's going to end up number one keeper. Like, obviously Snedden has been the go-to for the last couple of years. And I think, he's coming into his own as well. So, I think this is going to be a pretty good pretty good competition for goalkeeper.